Good morning, everybody. You're very welcome today. We're joined by Kieran Lills. Kieran is the owner and director of Lilly's Bar and Restaurant in the heart of Portlaoise, a great late night venue. I'm sure many of you will be familiar with it. So, Kieran, thanks again for taking time to chat to us today. Delighted to see you. Would you like to give us a little bit of background to how you ended up owner and director of Lilly's Bar?
Yeah, morning Bernie, thanks for having me. So personally myself, I've been involved with a few bars and late bars for the last 6 years in Portlaoise, and I kind of went in as a promotions team, ran promotions for a lot of bars, and then in June 2018 I ended up getting an opportunity to come on as an owner and director with Alan Clancy and Bernard Brogan, my two other partners, in Lilly's Bar in Portlaoise, formerly Egan's in the Blue Door, as people might remember it. It's a bar, a restaurant, a late bar and a nightclub upstairs, so there's plenty going on most of the time pre-COVID. We're on Lower Main Street, and we've got 39 full-time and part-time employees. So pre-COVID, our business model was food and drink business Monday to Friday, and we were a drinking food business Saturday and Sunday. That's the way the split went. And I'm part of a larger group of bars in Ireland then as well, providing the same type of services throughout Leinster and Munster.
So during, I suppose, at the beginning of COVID shut down, and you mentioned earlier, to put all your staff on the pandemic payment, which was a great relief for you that at least they were getting something.
Yeah, it was a difficult time. We closed our doors on the 15th of March. I still have the date from the 15th of March still in the bar and on the calendar. And it was a tough day because a lot of it was unknown. A lot of people were assuming we might be back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So it was kind of a bit of the unknown, and it was great to have that PUP available for our staff. And we found that was the most beneficial route we could take. And the staff were very accepting and very, very okay with that, which was a great help. Then the first few weeks, personally, I kind of nearly switched off from the business, trying to take a bit of time to recharge. I have a few other things going on with football, and I'm also doing a leadership course through Maynooth. So I kind of got my teeth stuck into that a small bit, and it was great. There was a lot of topics that we were covering on the leadership course that were very applicable to where we were at the time. Then I suppose the building itself, we've got a bit of construction work going on beside us. And the building itself got a little bit of a battering over the COVID period. A few little leaks, and I was in there every day, kind of just trying to make sure that it was kept in tip-top order. I had to get in a few tradesmen a few days, and try to keep it as fresh as I could. And we still have probably plans to freshen it up before we reopen. And the thing I found hardest with the whole COVID situation and my experience with it was trying to keep the lines of communication open to the staff. And it was essentially because I hadn't really any idea, and no one really had any idea what was going on. And it might have seemed for some staff that the management are keeping their head in the sand, but there was nothing to report. We didn't know when we were opening, what the regulations and rules were going to be, what it was going to look like. But I suppose now we have a bit of a clearer image in our heads of what it's going to look like, and I think it's hopefully going to be a viable business when we reopen. That's the main important thing,
I suppose you're lucky to have the experience of your partners and the fact that they're involved in other venues that will definitely, you can benchmark off how they've kind of reopened.
Yeah, so technically I'm allowed to open right now as a food distributor. And what we've done is there's 20 plus bars on the group that I'm involved in, and it's very handy to be able to see and use one or two as a tester. So that's exactly what we did. We used the Navan bar, Larry and Nora's, same kind of concept, restaurant and bar and late bar, and they opened on the 5th of August, I think, the Thursday of the first week we were allowed to open. And they were the kind of litmus test really for everyone, seeing what is needed, what's not needed. Are people feeling safe? what exact structures we need, like even staffing, everything, like, you know, even this new the employment support that we're getting off the government, how that actually works. So it was a very good and worthwhile experience, because we were able to use that knowledge now to open, and please God, well, we'll be opening the week of Monday the 10th of August regardless, because we can. Probably be Wednesday the 12th, I reckon, by the time we've everything sorted. But yeah, looking forward to that, and at least I can have from the tester bar, I suppose, up in Navan, I can get an action plan together and kind of pull everyone together and get my all my ducks in a row before I open, which is a very worthwhile experience, you know.
Yeah, I suppose rushing into it, you can kind of come against you. So in terms of management of cash flow, I'm sure that's been tricky, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So, like, I suppose we were a relatively young bar. We were only 18 months, 19 months in business at the start, so we hadn't got massive cash stores. You know, we put a massive investment into the bar when we took it over. You know, we changed around the whole layout of the bar, put in a lot of investment into different fixtures and fittings. So we were only kind of starting to make inroads into that, and, like, you know, Paddy's weekend typically is the kind of kickstart for the whole year, and like we just got the rug pulled from underneath us just before that weekend, you know, the Saturday. I think we pulled the whole thing. I suppose, you know, so the first thing I had to do was I had to kind of touch base with a lot of suppliers and a lot of creditors, and just, you know, hold my hands up and say, listen, this is their situation, but my aim is to work with everyone and get everything sorted as quickly as possible. You know, we put all our cash storage or all our floats and everything back into our bank account to try and kind of be able to keep us going for a few weeks. And then it was dealing with suppliers trying to get, like, drinks returned and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough times, you know, and it's important for me to try and keep the lines of communication open with everyone and be as honest and not be ducking and diving, like, you know, that's
yeah, I think honesty is always the best policy, as they say, and particularly if people get a phone call from you, then they have they feel a bit happier about that. That's absolutely right. So in terms of, you availed of the Restart grant from the County Council.
Yeah, so we got the Restart grant there. I think it came in there last week. So delighted with that, you know, and then with the media publications yesterday about kind
more
of
to come, hopefully.
More to come, hopefully, exactly.
Yeah, we'll be up to date on that, and we're having a webinar next week actually to explain to everyone exactly what's there, because many people aren't really familiar with what they're entitled to. So it's my job to make sure everybody gets what's there for them. So in terms of opportunities and future plans, are you changing anything when you reopen?
So I suppose the COVID gave us a good time to crunch the numbers really in detail, and you know, it had to weigh up a few paths that we could go down. You know, we had a strong carvery business for many years, but it probably wasn't in fitting with our actual offering overall. So we've decided to pull the carvery at the minute, and we've also looked at the possibility of franchising out food, getting in a strong brand along with ourselves. But there's nothing set in stone with that yet. So we're definitely going to open with just a table service menu, our evening menu, and Saturday and Sunday brunches. And that's our plan going forward from probably Wednesday the 12th of August. So yeah, it was a good time to reassess things and kind of make a few calls there that would make the business more viable. That's the main thing. Keep people in jobs and make the business viable, because they're the two important things that will help.
Absolutely.
You know,
you want to be there this time next year and this time 10 years. But I think definitely this COVID lockdown gave people the chance to look at their business models and ask those hard questions, because it can be very hard to stop a service like a carvery that you're well known for. But if it's not making sense, you know, and you have to just pivot and tweak your offering, it makes total sense.
Definitely, yeah. Even you know, there's a great coffee culture in Portlaoise. There's lovely coffee shops and cafes, and it gave us a time, like personally, to kind of organise a few bits of training now, for a really good training for my staff, to make sure we're up to scratch with the rest of the county or town for coffee. I also kind of, for the first, I suppose after the first month, I branched out there. I had a little kind of side kind of gig with a thing called Mr. 9 Delivery there. It was just kind of delivering barbecue kits and cocktail kits, and that kind of kept us going for a while there with I'm not a chef myself, so I couldn't cook it for people, but I can deliver it and pack it and that. So yeah, that kept us busy for a while as well. So
yeah,
it was good now, yeah.
Yeah, people definitely tried new things, and definitely some of those things will continue. I think it'll be a mix of what we had before with all the new things that have happened, which is kind of refreshing as well. We have to see the positives if we can in some way. Yeah. So Kieran, listen, thanks a million for keeping us up to date. I know a lot of people are wondering why you hadn't opened, and it's great to know really the reason why, and that you're really planning to have a better offering by the sounds of it, and more suited to your market.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, with the pedestrianisation of Portlaoise as well, the trial period, you know, I felt guilty that I wasn't open at the very start, you know, because I want to try and make it a go and make it a good service for everyone. So I want to work hard with the traders down there to kind of bring in a few more bodies into the town, you know, and hopefully we can help out with that. I think it'll be a positive thing once it gets off the ground. You know, and those little things, I am looking forward to just getting back open and you know, to seeing all people again, you know, because we had a good daytime trade. Yeah, so like probably another thing we have to do as well is look at our opening hours at the start. So we might just go to evenings at the start, just to kind of phase ourselves back into the working world.
Yeah. Well, look, it was great chatting to you, and best of luck. Looking forward to dropping in for a cup of coffee with all your newly trained barista staff.
That's
great.
it, yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Bertie. Thanks,
Kieran. Thank you.
Cheers. Okay.
Thank you.